You know that person who laughs at absolutely everything? The one who finds humor in situations that would send most people into a spiral? They've probably been through some stuff. I'm not talking about a bad day. I'm talking about experiences that fundamentally rewire how you see the world. Think about it. Someone cuts them off in traffic. Road rage? No. They're wondering if that driver is having a breakdown, a divorce, or just really needs to pee. When you've survived your own Category 5 storms, other people's rain showers just hit different. Their brain isn't broken, it's a survival masterpiece, trained to exist in a world where the threat is gone, but the instinct remains. You'd think surviving hell would make someone bitter. Often, it's the opposite. These people become aggressively empathetic. They can spot pain from a mile away because they speak the language fluently. They don't just hear your words, they read the texture of your silence, whether it's heavy, disappointed, or just exhausted. Most people walk into a room and see furniture. They walk in and feel the emotional temperature. They sense changes in the atmosphere the way others sense changes in the weather. Psychologist Richard Tedeschi calls this post-traumatic growth. Research shows that many survivors don't just bounce back, they bounce forward. Their relationships deepen, their priorities crystallize. They develop a comically intense appreciation for ordinary moments. They'll tear up at a good sunset and won't even feel embarrassed about it. But there's a side effect: hypervigilance. If you know someone who always needs to sit facing the door or has 17 backup plans for a simple coffee date, that's not paranoia. That's a nervous system that learned the hard way that safety is a luxury, not a guarantee. Here's the irony. These individuals often become either incredibly loyal or incredibly distant. They'll show up for you at 3 a.m. without hesitation, but ask them to be vulnerable about their own needs? Suddenly, they're busier than a one-armed juggler. Because historically, closeness came with a price tag. They've learned to need nobody, which sounds strong until you realize how lonely it is. They've also developed an allergy to being perceived as victims. They'll downplay their own pain with a casual, "I'm fine," because admitting struggle feels like failure. Underneath the resilience, there's a specific kind of grief, not for a person, but for the version of themselves they lost. They grieve the self that trusted easily, the self that moved through the world without tightening their chest. How do you explain being homesick for a version of yourself you barely remember, for a softness you didn't get to keep? This grief doesn't break them, it shapes them. It makes them quieter, more intentional. They cherish peace because they know the true cost of chaos. Strength isn't about never falling apart, it's about how many times you can reassemble yourself even when the pieces don't fit the same way anymore. They are lighthouses, not because their lives were gentle, but because they learned to navigate the darkness. Every joke, every boundary, and every moment of unexpected depth, they've earned that wisdom. And they're still here, still trying, still finding reasons to hope. That's not just psychology, that's poetry in motion.